last night, I admit I had to have a big cup of a iced coffee today from Starbucks because I was up till 1:30 in the morning. I tapped out about the 14th inning,
So
but
did I.
of a historic game three of the World Series between the Dodgers and Blue Jays, back and forth. And obviously, when you get to the 14th inning, anything can happen. It's a game both sides can win or lose at multiple points. I think the biggest thing that comes out of game three for me is that you mentioned Otani a little bit earlier. Whatever you may think of him, I think he is now undisputably not only the best player in baseball today, I would already give him the MVP, even if the Dodgers were to somehow lose this series, because I think his value now is incredible to the point where the Blue Jays have basically admitted they will put they will put up the four-finger hands and walk him to first base every time. He is pitching tonight, and that is a huge advantage for the Dodgers because they have a weapon to deploy. The Toronto Blue Jays do not. Shane Bieber, who is coming off Tommy John surgery, is going to have to, in my opinion, pitch at least 7 innings and give up one or no runs to give the Blue Jays a chance. The Blue Jays are a great team. They've proven their ability to come back. They had a great bottom of the sixth inning in game one to take that 1-0 lead. But this series has just shown how talented the Dodgers are. And the scary thing for Toronto is, Josh, we both said going into the postseason, the Dodgers were not going to make the World Series. It wasn't because of their talent, but we both thought their bullpen may have been the weakness of the team. And last night, they pretty much got a full game out of their bullpen, and that was followed by a complete game in game two by Yoshi Yamamoto, who may be right now the best pitcher in baseball going back-to-back complete games. It's going to be very tough, in my opinion, for the Blue Jays to now win 3 out of the next 4 games to win this World Series.
Well, thankfully for them, 2 of those would be back in Toronto. If they can get it back there for a game 6. Honestly, tonight's a must win for Toronto. You don't want to go down 3-1 against this Dodgers team. But here's an interesting thing. Did you know that going back to 2018, every opponent the Dodgers have faced in the World Series has been from the AL East? Think of this. 2018, Boston Red Sox. 2020, the Mickey Mouse World Series, where they played it in Texas. It wasn't even played at Tampa Bay or in LA, but still, they played the Tampa Bay Rays. And in 2024, they played the Yankees. And this season, they're playing the Blue Jays. The only team from the AL East they have not yet played in the World Series are the Baltimore Orioles.
That is an interesting fact. And I think one of the bigger stories coming out of this World Series is, oh my God, if the Dodgers win again, look how unfair baseball is. And obviously, there's a ton of conversation around baseball about whether at the end of the 2026 season there's going to be a lockout or not, whether eventually there's going to be a salary cap floor or a ceiling. In my opinion, the Dodgers, as of right now, they basically have the same rights and the same payroll as the New York Yankees, the Red Sox, the Phillies. The Dodgers just do everything right as an organization. And you look at how they're run, complete world-class facilities. Outside of the Otani situation, you can say what you want about it, but they don't have guys that are, hated in the media. They don't have guys who, are locker room issues or have a bad temperament. They're just a really well-run organization. And in my opinion, and I hate to say this because I'm a fan of the Cleveland Guardians, and I'm a small market team, but I don't find the Dodgers' reign of terror, if you will, evil.
I do.
I think they are a really likable franchise, and I think every baseball team in the world should aspire to be what the Dodgers are. They pull these guys from Japan, they pull these guys from teams who give up on talent, and they just find a way to fit them in their lineup, and away they go. And they've done it every single year. It just took, by the way, the greatest baseball player to ever play, in my opinion, in the history of the game, who was in the same city as he is now, just 40 minutes away, to transform him into, oh, yeah, he's probably the best player in baseball, maybe of all time, because of the way he can pitch and hit, to, oh my God, we are watching maybe one of the greatest athletes to ever grace the planet of Earth.
I understand what you are saying, but the Dodgers are the evil empire. For me, they are. I don't like the way they are doing things. Oh, we're going to sign Shohei, but defer all his money. I still haven't forgotten about Chase Utley's slide from 2015 against the New York Mets, Ruben Tejada. I haven't forgotten about that. He was wearing a Dodgers jersey. Of course, since I'm a Cubs fan, we had that rivalry with the Dodgers in 2016 and 2017, where we played them in back-to-back NLCSs, with us winning in 2016 and them winning in 2017. But for me, they are the evil empire. I can't stand the Dodgers one little bit. Although I do have 3 players on that team that I actually do really like. Freddie Freeman, although I think he should still be in Atlanta, but his agent screwed that up. Mookie Betts, and of course, Clayton Kershaw. But of the 3...
How about Kershaw last night, by the way? Top of the 12th inning, bases loaded, 2 outs, with all the pressure in the world on him, because that was a game at that point. Whoever scored the next run was 90%, in my opinion, going to win the game. And 3-2, down and away, got him to swing and miss. I was surprised they did not deploy him for the 13th inning, that was all he pitched. Maybe they want to use him at some point in the game 7 or something if it comes to that point. But Clayton Kershaw, again, you had Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer last night. Scherzer pitched 5 innings. You had Glasnow go 5 innings for the Dodgers. You had Kershaw. You had Ohtani. You had Betts. You had Vladimir Guerrero. You had Bo Bichette. You had guys getting thrown out of the plate by miles. I think the Blue Jays third base coach needs new contacts or needs glasses. I don't know why he was sending all those players in extra innings.
I did like the play where Vlad was able to come home and score safely just by slapping his hand on home plate.
And then the following inning, this was the moment of the night to me, outside of obviously the 14-inning home run by Freddie Freeman. So Shohei Ohtani comes up to bat, right? And the Blue Jays just have a mound visit where they're talking about how to pitch to him. And I'm saying, why? Just put the 4 fingers up. It's a 1-run game. You don't let the best player in baseball beat you. And the Blue Jays, on the very first pitch after that mound visit, they throw a fastball right down the middle to Shohei Ohtani. Bang, home run, his second of the game, and at that point it's 5-5. I mean, how, again, if the Blue Jays come back, let's say the Blue Jays win the next 3 games. Let's say they go up 4-2 and they somehow have an historic comeback. To me, I don't care who wins the series. I think the MVP is the best overall baseball player on the field, and that's the Dodgers starting pitcher / home run guy who reached base 9 times last night. That's unheard of. I don't care if it took 14 innings or not. 9 times he reached base in a baseball game.
Well, the game ended up going 18 innings, actually, and it ended...
That's what I mean. Yeah, 18 innings. So, on average, every second at bat, he was on base.
Think about this. They played basically 2 full games last night. 2.
They did. In
Yeah.
fact, they did. Not basically, they did.
It's the second longest game in World Series history, trailing only behind Game 3 of the 2018 World Series, which also went 18 innings. And that World Series, ironically, was in LA, and it was won by the Dodgers on a walk-off home run.
And then the Red Sox would still go on and win the next 2 games and win that series in 5 games.
Yes. But think about what Freddie Freeman has done. Last year, he wins game 1 against the Yankees on a walk. I think it was a walk-off grand slam, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, and the infamous Joe Davis, Gibby meet Freddie call.
Yes. And then he does it again last night. I'm glad you brought up Joe Davis. I wish he wouldn't call World Series that involved the Dodgers. And that's because, for those of you who don't know, he is the Dodgers TV play-by-play guy.
Yes, he is.
So for me, it is so annoying to listen to him call these games on national TV with the Dodgers, because you can just tell he is heavily leaning towards LA.
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you feel the same way about Mike Breen in the NBA postseason when he calls Knicks games?
To a certain extent, yes. Although I love Mike Breen. I think his calls are great. But to a certain extent, yes, I do. So
I just think it's the nature of the business, unfortunately,